Imagine you're a rubber band, simple, stretchy, and surprisingly strong. Life, with all its twists, pulls, and pressures, is like a set of hands that keeps tugging at you, trying to stretch you out in every direction. But just like a rubber band, being emotionally resilient means having the incredible ability to stretch far and wide without breaking. You can snap back into shape no matter how much life tries to pull you apart. Now, let's take this a step further. Imagine you have your very own superhero toolkit, but instead of it being filled with typical superhero gadgets, it's packed with something even more extraordinary: self-care strategies. These aren't ordinary tools. They're your secret weapons for bouncing back from life's challenges, just like a rubber band snaps back after being stretched. In this episode of HeyZen podcast, we'll tell you about your emotional resilience toolkit, designed to combat the biggest challenges life throws at you. So, let's get started.
It's an informative podcast about mental wellness from HeyZen. Here, we debunk myths, discuss hot topics, and give practical advice to improve your mental health. It will be funny, insightful, and impressive.
Emotional resilience is like being a sturdy boat in a stormy sea. Just because you have a strong boat doesn't mean you won't feel the waves or get tossed around a bit. What it does mean, though, is that you can navigate through the storm without sinking. In the world of feelings, emotional resilience doesn't stop things from bothering you or make your emotions any less intense. Instead, it gives you the strength to experience your emotions fully without letting them take over the steering wheel. Without emotional resilience, it's easy to let your emotions explode like a volcano, hurting those around you, damaging your relationships, or missing out on good opportunities. But with it, you learn to feel your emotions, understand them, and express them in ways that don't cause harm. You still feel everything deeply, but you're able to navigate through your emotions without crashing into the people you love or missing the chances life throws your way. Let's begin with tool number 1, which is setting healthy boundaries. Basically, it's like drawing a map that outlines where you want to go and the places you'd rather avoid. It's crucial for keeping your ship sailing smoothly, ensuring you don't end up in stormy waters more often than you need to. Saying no sometimes and deciding what you will and will not accept in your life helps prevent you from feeling overwhelmed and burned out. It's like making sure you have enough food and rest to continue your journey without running yourself into the ground. However, it's important to remember that there's a big difference between setting healthy boundaries and building barriers. The last might keep out the bad stuff, but they also keep out the good stuff, leading to loneliness and making it tough to build strong, supportive relationships, which will make it harder to bounce back or feel resilient when life throws challenges your way. For instance, imagine a young woman named Mia who loves helping her friends and family. She's always there for everyone, anytime they need her, to the point where her own needs and hobbies start to take a back seat. Mia begins to feel exhausted and frustrated because she has little time for herself. Instead of sacrificing her own time and energy, Mia decides to draw her own map. She starts setting healthy boundaries. She kindly lets her friends and family know that while she loves being there for them, she needs certain evenings free to pursue her painting, a hobby that brings her joy and relaxation. At first, she worries they might react negatively, but to her surprise, they understand and support her decision because they love her. As time goes by, Mia notices she's happier and more energized. Her relationships are even stronger because when she spends time with her loved ones, she's fully present and not thinking about the rest she's missing. By setting boundaries, Mia didn't just protect her well-being, she enhanced the quality of her interactions with others, much like opening the gates of the garden of her mind to welcome visitors at the right times, making sure it remains a beautiful, peaceful place for everyone to enjoy. Now, let's take a look at another tool, which is connecting with others. At first glance, you might think, wait a minute, isn't that the opposite of setting boundaries? But here's the thing. Making strong and healthy connections with people is like building bridges, and not just any bridges, but the kind that can carry us over troubled waters. It's an essential part of taking care of ourselves and toughening up our emotional muscles. It's about reaching out to friends, family, or joining groups where you can share what's going on in your life and find people who get it. They can offer a shoulder to lean on, an ear to listen to, and sometimes advice from their own life rafts. Imagine you're two climbers, roped together, scaling a mountain. On your own, a slip might mean a disastrous fall. But together, you can catch each other, find the best paths, and reach the summit, celebrating the journey you've shared. That's the power of connecting with others. It's about more than just sharing the load. It's about enhancing the journey, making the highs higher and the lows more manageable. Moving on, let's take a look at journaling, the third item in our emotional resilience toolkit. It can feel like having a personal detective inside your head. It helps you uncover clues about your emotional patterns and triggers, teaching you how to build emotional resilience. By understanding what sets off certain emotions, you can prepare better responses and strategies for the future. Let's think about a man named Alex who felt overwhelmed by anxiety. Alex started journaling every evening, writing about the day's events, feelings, and any worries. Over time, Alex noticed a pattern. Social interactions were a significant trigger for anxiety. Recognizing this, Alex began to work on specific strategies to manage social anxiety, like deep breathing exercises before meetings or social gatherings. What he also noticed is that he kept telling himself, "People don't want to truly connect with me." Understanding it's a destructive and objectively untrue thought, he started to notice the occasions when people genuinely wanted to talk to him and share their thoughts. So, journaling didn't just help Alex understand the root of his anxiety and loneliness, but it became a roadmap to overcoming the problems. Now, let's talk about relaxation techniques. Such techniques as gentle stretching in yoga, the soothing rhythm of progressive muscle relaxation, or the comforting embrace of a warm bath serve as quiet spaces where our minds and bodies can take a breather. Imagine you have a tightly wound ball of yarn. Each thread represents different stresses and worries in your life. Practices like yoga unfurl these threads slowly, making the ball less tight and easier to manage. Or consider how a warm bath melts away the day's worries, like ice cream on a hot day, leaving you feeling refreshed and at peace. By incorporating these relaxation practices into your life, you're essentially giving yourself a personal retreat, a safe haven where you can recharge. And just like a good night's sleep makes you feel ready to take on the world, these moments of calm prepare you to handle daily problems with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. Finally, always talk kindly to yourself, and don't allow negative self-talk into your life. Let's say you're working on a big project, and it feels like you're not making any progress. It's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts like, "I'll never get this done," or "I'm not good enough." But if you shift your mindset and focus on positive thoughts, it can make a big difference. You might start telling yourself, "I've tackled big projects before. I can do this one too." Or, "Yes, the project is big, but step by step, I'll get it done." This shift in thinking is like clearing the weeds from your garden, making room for your plants, or in this case, your confidence and abilities, to flourish. You need to learn how to be the most supportive friend to yourself. And would you keep friendship with someone who tells you that you're unworthy or not enough? Well, you certainly shouldn't. At first, self-encouragement and a strong belief in yourself will sound weird to you, but as you start practicing them, they'll become your second nature. What's more, it'll soon be strange for you to talk to yourself harshly and negatively. As we wrap up, we want to remind you that this is in no way an exhaustive list of the infinite number of tools that you can use to build emotional resilience, but these should get you off to a great start. Remember, just like how a superhero relies on their special powers to face challenges, you can rely on your emotional toolkit to help you thrive and overcome obstacles in your life. Best wishes for your continued success and healing from all of us here at HeyZen. See you in the next episode, and until then, be well.